Hey everyone, my name is Tiffany Sandifer. This is a video assignment for my Student Affairs and Higher Education Master's program at Northwestern State University. The class that I'm currently in is the American Student. In this video, I'm going to give you my personal interpretation of Chickering's theory, the 7 vectors of personal development. I really hope that you enjoy this video, and if I look down or off to the side, please forgive me. I've made a few notes that I can follow with as I move along. So starting with the first vector, that one is developing competence. This one is defined in the book by 3 different ways: intellectual, physical, and interpersonal. I would definitely say that I hit all 3 of these in my collegiate experience. Intellectual would be the knowledge and skills related to a specific area. I got that with work in my major, in the classroom, and learning new things. Physical would be attention to wellness and physical activity, which is something that I was really passionate about moving towards my junior and senior year, working out and eating right. And interpersonal would be working with others and leadership. This is something that I definitely gained from working with extracurricular activities like SGA, recruiting, and my sorority Phi Mu. In addition to that, just to give you a little background on some of the things that helped me develop competence outside of the classroom, I actually chose to stay in my hometown and attend a community college due to financial reasons and my father's health. This really helped me learn how to manage my money, how not to go into debt, and I learned how to balance my schoolwork. I was definitely not the best at this during my undergraduate experience, but it is safe to say that I am much better now than I was when I was an undergraduate student. I think that my real world experience definitely lend to that, and I just know to get it done, procrastinating is not a good thing. So that would have covered the first vector, developing competence. Moving towards the second vector, that one is managing emotions. This is something that I probably hit first when moving to college. I would say that college was very emotional for me at times. I was a first generation college student. I did everything on my own. The enrollment process, financial aid, everything. It was very frustrating and it was very overwhelming. At times, I really wished that I had someone that I could call, that could relate, that could help walk me through the process, but unfortunately, I did not. And like I mentioned before, I stayed at home for my family and just for personal finances. But I also felt that a community college was for me because I had attended a small high school. The thought of moving off to another city and state kind of scared me, and I really didn't want to be alone. I thought that if I didn't know anybody at school, at least I would know somebody at home, and I would have friends that I graduated with that were still in town. So overall, I just really wanted the security of being near home. I was anxious and nervous for college. When I got there, I felt like a little fish in a big pond, and to me, that's the best analogy for it. I also learned how to deal with disappointment and not getting everything that you go out for. That really set me up for dealing with things in the real world. And that would conclude Vector 2, managing emotions. For Vector 3, that one is moving through autonomy towards interdependence. I would say that I hit that by joining organizations within my second semester. My first semester, I chose to kind of just focus on my schoolwork to discover if college was something that was for me and that I could be sure that I could balance all of my work. And it helped me learn a whole lot about myself in that first semester, but I learned so much more when I got involved with organizations in that second semester and moving forward. I also got my first job in college, mostly because I was tired of asking my parents for money. My first job helped me learn how to balance school, work, and homework. I also learned how to lead a team and how to be a good team player. I learned interdependence through making decisions for myself, changing majors, what classes I needed to take or what classes I needed to drop. And I learned how to monitor my GPA. I learned that I am responsible for me. Anything that I do directly affects the overall outcome. And I learned how to handle dealing with making mistakes and really owning up to them. That would conclude Vector 3. Moving towards Vector 4, that one is developing mature interpersonal relationships. This one was probably the easiest for me. I've always been a very friendly person. I like meeting new people. When I started college, I talked to everyone. I exchanged numbers with people in my classes. I made study groups. I invited people out to lunch, and I really just put myself out there. It helped me meet a lot of acquaintances. I'm not friends with everyone that I talk to in classes, of course, but I did develop some really close relationships with people that I'm friends with even to this day. And as a matter of fact, I was actually hanging out with somebody that I met in my freshman 8 a.m. English class, so that's pretty cool. I also got a chance to establish some professional relationships with my peers and instructors. I've actually called upon some of my instructors in my professional role now since we are all in higher education, and it's been very beneficial, and I've actually been able to use some of my peers from my program for references, and so that was wonderful. And also developing relationships, I would say that organizations helped out a lot with that. I learned how to be, again, a team player. I learned how to deal with conflict. Some of the organizations I was involved in were SGA, Rotaract, my sorority, and a few other ones. I also learned what to do to be a great friend and what you shouldn't do. Whatever you do, above all, just do what you say you're going to do, and it's going to work out okay. Moving towards Vector 5, that one is establishing identity. That would be loving yourself, being comfortable in your own skin with your body and your appearance, being self-accepting. For me, this is one that I still struggle with today. It's been pretty tough. I've always been confident in who I am as a person. I know that I have unique gifts and talents that are given just to me. But I always felt like I struggled with the physical aspect of that and kind of emotionally accepting myself. I am just very hard on myself, and I know that I shouldn't be, but I would say that involvement in the student organizations and my leadership in the classroom and outside of the classroom really helped me feel confident in the skills that I possess, and that allowed me to grow in college. But I do feel that Vector 5 is something that I'm probably going to have to continue working on throughout life, and really I feel like several of these are. I will add to this, the involvement in those organizations helped me discover that I'm really good at public speaking, coaching, and leading, so I do have confidence in those. For Vector 6, that one is developing purpose, discovering what your life purpose is, what your meaningful work should be, what you should do as a career. I changed my major several times in college, and really, to be honest with you, I graduated with a broadcasting degree because that's what I had the most credits in and what I could graduate earliest with. I think I kind of knew in my junior year that it wasn't really a fit for me, but I knew that I just kind of wanted to go ahead and get my degree, and that I could always work in something related to the communication field, and I knew that that degree would still be very applicable. I did participate in a program called LEAD, and that is a leadership program that was at LSU Shreveport, and I would say that's what really helped me develop my purpose. That program inspired me to find a career where I could focus on leadership, mentoring, building and nurturing relationships, and doing something that I was passionate about and that I loved. Straight out of college, I worked in retail, and I was able to work in leadership, mentoring, and relationships with my team and my customers, but it didn't allow me to leave a lasting impact or a legacy, and so that is how I found myself in student affairs, and I really feel that that is an excellent fit for me because I know that I will be able to do those things. Vector 7 is developing integrity. That one would be defined as progressing from a single way of thinking to creating your own way of thinking, creating your own value system. I would say that this one kind of tied into Vector 6 for me in that leadership program. I had an excellent mentor, Mr. Wayne Hogue, and he really inspired me in his teachings to do what's right no matter what, to lead by example, to do what you say you're going to do, and basically be yourself, be the same person when no one else is looking. it helped me and inspired me and showed me that I needed to be in a field where I could do those things. And that's why I chose higher education. I have the potential to do big things on my campus and with my students. I can inspire others, touch lives, and I'm finally able to leave that legacy. That covered all 7 vectors, but there were a few other questions related to the assignment that I would like to touch on. One of them was, did I develop in these vectors in the order that was listed? I did not. I actually developed these according to my own clock. And like I said earlier, I'm personally still working towards realizing some of these vectors to their entirety. I think I've gotten there partially, but it's something that I can continue to work on. And I'm confident in thinking that perhaps other people might feel the same way. When thinking about environmental influences, I would think that my undergraduate experience was definitely influenced by these. The small size of BIPSI was great. It allowed me to fit in. It allowed me to get involved. I made a name for myself on campus. I would also think that the student-faculty relationships were really key in the influencing me. While I'm not friends with every faculty member that I had, I did maintain relationships with some over the years. They've been very valuable to me. And my teachers always encouraged me. They gave me a sense that it was going to be okay, that I've got this, I am smart, and I can do it. For the admonitions, I'm not quite sure if I said that correctly, but that one would fall under recognition and respect for individual differences, and I would think that I definitely found that. Attending a small private school, I wasn't exposed to a lot of things before I went to college, but being in college allowed me to be around new people. I got to learn new things, and I got kind of immersed into different cultures, religions, ethnicities that were different than mine. Well, I think I can always learn new things and that I should learn new things. I felt like that really helped me branch out and learn that there are ways to do things different than my own. And there's different ways to look at life and different religions and things like that. So it definitely opened my eyes and helped me be a more accepting person and to understand that it's okay to be curious. One thing I'm really working towards right now is not being afraid to ask questions to people that are different than me. So I really hope that this program inspires me and helps me get to that stage. In addition to that, they had research of specific student populations, and the text mentioned that students can experience these vectors differently due to social identities. I would definitely agree with this. Everyone kind of develops according to their own perfect time, kind of like I did. Everyone is unique and they experience things in their life that kind of get them to a vector sooner rather than later, or later rather than sooner, if that sounds clear or not. I'm not sure, but sometimes people need to take time to develop in other areas before they reach a vector, especially in that particular order. I would say that no two people are the same, and that you really do have to take into account things like culture, ethnicity, gender, race, sexual orientation. When these factors come into play, individuals can have difficulty realizing a vector to its full potential. So I would definitely say that I agree with that. So I think that concludes my video. It's running a little long right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. I want to thank everyone for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed my video. Sorry if I seemed a little silly in it. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera from the broadcasting major in college, but I look forward to hearing everyone else's interpretations and hearing your comments. Thanks so much. Bye.